Oh, what's happened since last week? That was Christmas, and now it's summer at Cowley High. All that business about opting out came to nothing. Parents had a vote, they didn't want it, so we haven't. But life goes on. It's exam term now. All high hopes and expectations. Fun and games, if you know what I mean. Ciao.
Listen to your father, listen to your brother. Take every chance that comes, maybe you'll find someone. You don't need to argue, you just need each
Are you hard up, are you? Eh? Bailing them out, eh? Yes, there's one more 706.
At the moment, my family are based in Peterborough, where I used to live. I've got a wife and 2 children, and they're still in that same house. We've been unable to sell. We've been looking for quite a while for a house in the St. Helens area, but nothing has come up so far.
All right, happy?
About 2 months, 3 months? 14 weeks.
I've got a new baby brother called John. He smiles a lot. Look at him, he's got a smile on his face. Generally, I like him. He's a bit big though. A baby. Oh, I know. Nice to see a new person in the house and a new face, but just a bit of a shock, really.
Burtonhead School, okay, we know what happened there, but a lot of the batting there, people lost concentration and everything, and it just disappeared. Now against Ormskirk, it turned out to be a very easy win for us.
We're just going to go on to the minutes of the 4th of March meeting, which was the meeting that preceded the annual parents' meeting, if everybody remembers. Does anybody have anything on those minutes?
There was a very large vote by the parents against opting out. There was a strong campaign waged on both sides, both from the LEA and the trade unions on the one side against opting out, and from the governors on the other. I was twice asked when I was shopping in a local supermarket, what's it like to be the most hated woman in St. Helens? It was one of the most unpleasant and one of the hardest experiences of my whole life.
Gareth Bass, then Johnny Taylor, then Larry Jordan, then Mark Lee, 50s, then 60s Alan. So which end are they bowling from? Look, who's bowling?
Don't know that.
I'm both. But so next now.
Here.
See which side he bowled.
What are you, right arm?
Yeah.
Over, yeah. Right arm. Bowling is right arm over the wicket.
Hello, David. It's your dad here. How are you? Have you had a good day at school? Oh, great. Excellent. Is your sister there? Hi, Angel. How are you? You had a good day? Great. What have you been up to? I have digs up here in St. Helens, but my family home is, 170 mile away in Peterborough. And I spend every Friday going down the motorways, the M62 and A1. Over a period of a year and a half, there are occasions when, you tend to worry about your children and they worry about their own progress. There might be a little bit of bullying going on at school or something to sort out in terms of their academic progress. And all you want to do is actually be there and physically be with them to sort them out and comfort them and reassure them. But obviously you're not. Yeah. And the telephone is really, it's just a way of keeping you in touch. It's not an emotional link. You can often feel worse when you've had a phone call, because, you know, you assume everything's going along swimmingly. But when you make a phone call, you find out things aren't, and you feel worse when you put the phone down.
Okay, well, I'll give you a ring later. Right, cheers. Bye, bye.
I don't think there's anybody who's been to university who hasn't found the first few weeks, perhaps half a term, hell on earth.
When I spent 3 days in Oxford, this college was gloomy, dark. There was no one there, sitting there in the interview room, waiting to be interviewed. And I didn't know anyone, I'm just sitting there going, can I have a cup of tea, please? Thank you. Thank you. Mum ran into my room, saying, "You've got a letter from Oxford, quick, open it, open it." So I'm sitting there in bed, I opened it, nervous. My hands were shaking, and I opened it. Yes, I've got it, yes, I'm in there. So I rang Mr. Sim up.
Yes, I took a little interpreting this gasping, gushing voice at the other end.
They've offered me a place, and he said, yes! Ecstatic on the phone.
Gives you lots of things to think about and lots of pints to drink, and
yeah,
it has something to be said for it, certainly.
Just keep on hoping I'm going to be able to make it. So all this worry of how I'm going to feel and how I'm going to cope is worth it.
Whatever it is, I don't think you want to feel that it's anything unusual or special or unique to you, that you feel unsure and a bit bewildered and probably a bit frightened of it.
Mum was fairly chuffed. I'm the first one from my family to go to university.
No, I'm not suggesting you would, but I don't suppose there's any kid ever been off to university, certainly not in the last 20 years, who hasn't come across this sort of problem.
It's just getting the grades now.
Oh, that's a mere nothing for you.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll...
Could I just come in here and say we sent out the letter that I had from John Patton so that you could all read it. And I mean, as far as I was concerned, the only relevant bit was this last paragraph, which I'd just like to draw your attention to. So I look to you as a governor and to head teachers to give a clear lead in this respect. Head teachers have a direct statutory duty to ensure that the national curriculum and its associated assessment arrangements are implemented. The governing body has a corresponding legal duty to exercise its functions so as to secure their implementation. It will be your responsibility to make it clear that you expect the teachers in your school to fulfil their professional and contractual duty to administer the tests. Well, when I read that, I was really angry, because I feel that if the staff feel that they are burdensome, irrelevant and not educationally correct, then I would like to stand full square behind them.
I can say quite clearly that as far as Cowley is concerned, virtually 100% of the staff will not participate in the SATs following their union guidelines. And I find myself in a totally impossible situation. I cannot manage it, and I don't really, at this particular moment, see how I can go any further but say to governors that we need to say something to the parents. We need to do something for the pupils. We are 3 weeks off the SATs, and it's a very, very uncertain situation. It's obvious, in a sense, from the government's point of view, that there's going to be a review next year. So that is a tacit, that's a clear acknowledgement that the SATs are absolutely worthless in terms of what the current situation. Particularly, I would say, in the English, it sort of produced an overload of work that is testing nothing.
What John Patton has actually done, he has brought parents, teachers, heads and everybody else absolutely solidly together on this issue. Never been seen before. And if I was John Patton, I'd be worried, because with that amount of support, then let's see what happens in the near future. I believe his job is on the line.
Miss French, it's for you.
No. Hello? Oh, what's the problem? Has he? No reason at all. Just give me that name again. I've just got a piece of paper, Christopher. Right. And he's been hitting him since last Wednesday. And I'm just checking, you know, he's not been calling him names or... No. Well, I'll tell you what then. Will you ask him to come and see me first thing in the morning, before he even goes to registration? And I'll promise you, I'll sort it out for him. Don't worry. Will do. Okay. Bye.
Good morning, Cowley High School.
Hello, I've just come to see if I've got any post. Right. Just sign those. Has anybody got a pen?
Yes, here you are.
Sorry, I'll just sign these. Right, thank you. Oh, are you giving it to me? Yeah. Oh, right, thank you. Hello, hey.
Good morning.
You've got to get in a queue for this, and I'm the next in the queue. 2 minutes? Right.
I just love the school.
Audrey.
I love the buildings, I love the staff, I love the pupils. I just love being involved in such a vibrant and living thing.
90,000? Well, yes, it's a lot, isn't it? Do you need that?
I like running things. I like helping run things. So I like being on the governors because, as I say, as chairman, I sort of get the first of the information.
Right, Mildred's just going to do something for this for these governor's minutes when she's finished with Hillary.
Okay. Stephen says he's going to take us all on our holidays. Isn't that right, Stephen? There you are. It's going to cost us nothing. It's going to cost us nothing. Zoe, right? But he says we've got to walk it, right? So we've got to walk it there, right? Because he won't pay for the bus. Now you can look there, it's a map of Eastbourne, isn't it? Right? Can you see Eastbourne? Just put your finger on Eastbourne at the bottom there. Bottom right-hand corner. Okay? We have had so much work thrown upon teachers in the last 4 or 5 years. I'd say about 75% of it is an absolute waste of time. It involves paperwork after paperwork after paperwork.
How do we get to Eastbourne?
Janice says... Go on, tell her.
Walking.
No, we're going to walk it. But how were we going to walk? We've just become a sort of bureaucratic arm of government. To Eastbourne. I think the SATS is a little bit like Custer's Last Stand. What's the name of that road?
Chuckmere.
Well, no, that's the river. She's in the river. That's the River Chuckmere, right? What's the number of that road at the top there?
Carry on down the 259.
That's good.
Past Friston.
Friston, good.
Keep going down the A259.
Yeah, but we go through what town's that?
East Dean.
East Dean, right? We're still on the A259.
Arms straight behind you, Cheryl. Left foot forward, right foot back. Which hand are you going to use? You don't know. Jackie, can you just go and give Cheryl a hand there?
She came back into school. She had to do something to fill in a timetable because she was dropping a couple of subjects. And I said that Jackie could come and have a lesson with me, so we spent some time together. And she was starting to teach little bits of lessons on the way, and then it developed from there.
Okay, you ready? Roll! Well, we won't kill any dinner with that, girl, will we? Come on, girls, we need to put our breakfast into this, I think.
Catherine, Michelle, Leslie, speak up.
Well, I decided to come back to school. Give it another go, see how it goes.
Diane, yes, ma'am. Victoria,
Excuse.
Kerry,
Sometimes she lacks confidence when she talks to adults, and I think it's a different matter when you put her in front of a group of children. She can relate to them. She feels confident already before she starts.
Set, go! Go on, go on, go on, go on. That's great, Jean. Keep those elbows tucked in.
Right, you two time. You take second place.
The older the kids are, the more nerve-wracking it is. Because the older they are, the less respect you get from them.
That's reset.
Keep going!
A lot of the fourth years, they don't seem to take me seriously. Whereas the younger years, they hardly know me. And they give it all. Miss, miss.
Did you not look at the Wheezies? No, because we're not doing that. Yours is 33.29. 30-15 to me. Mum, massive.
For about the last 2 years, I've hated it at all. And shortly after Christmas, it just come to that point where I couldn't take it anymore, so I left home. And lucky enough, we had somebody there for me. Just took me in, provided me with an excellent home. And supported my decisions, helped me to get on with my own life and think of me only and nobody else.
Down from here, where's it going to go? Into the... So what we want to do is play that same shot from here.
And is this the picture this idea was taken from?
Yes, it's Rousseau, artist Rousseau. His work is sort of the stimulus for the setup. And
lovely.
Just taken the animals back. We've borrowed some animals from the museum in town.
Oh,
Yeah.
stuffed animals. Oh, really?
We've missed them by about a day. I took them back.
My dad was a vicar, and he had to wear a dog collar, so of course he didn't wear an ordinary shirt with an ordinary collar. And these are a collection of shirts that go back over about 30 years. And my mother stores everything. And so about 6 months ago she said, I don't think there's any point in me keeping these anymore. Is there anything you could do with them? So I said, well, I'll ask Claire if she wants a couple. And Claire helped herself to two and customised them for herself. And then I had a word with Jane. So those are the shirts. There's about 15 of them.
That'd be great.
Useful.
We've got, you see those ones there? That's T-shirts.
Yes.
Has anybody ever hit you?
No, sir.
No, sir. Would you like to be? That's daft, isn't it? Eh? Supposing everybody who was bigger than anybody went round hitting everybody, eh? Where would we be? And what sort of life do you think that lad's having?
Bad one.
A bad one. And what are we going to do about it?
Stop it.
Well, I think we should not only stop it, but I think we should do something with him as well. What do you think?
Apologise.
Apologise. Now, am I going to see an apology to him?
Yes, sir.
When will I see that apology?
When you see him again.
Well, you'll see him very shortly now, won't you? Now, listen, I want a proper apology, and I want an apology that really does mean something. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, it's not big, is it?
No.
You're not very big in front of me now, are you?
No.
Devant le ballon géant qui jouait un jeu de cette maison.
Bravo. Comment tu t'appelles? Touchez la lampe. Bravo. Asseyez-vous. Okay. Now then, we have our little competition time. Working in pairs, remember? If we are sitting in pairs, we've got the worksheets here, and whoever gets the most done correctly in the requisite amount of time will win vast amounts of loot in the form of one packet of polo between 150 of you.
I'm very fond of them. They're lovely. They're wildly enthusiastic. In some cases, shambolic. If it is possible to lose 11 pencils, waste 16 sheets of paper, knock over 4 paint pots and so on, they will do it. But it's not the shambles which comes because they can't be bothered to do things. It's because they all want to be doing all of it all the time. And they are extremely hard work.
The answers.
I think that's going to be up there with the winners.
Is it? Yes.
With the winners.
Oh, with the winners.
Might not be the only one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, could you get back to your normal seats now, please? You probably won't know how to pronounce these things because they're all new words.
La
but
Popolaba.
try. However odd it might seem, just have a go. We'll just do a little bit more of the speaking bits that we started with, just to finish off. I've already seen who the winners are going to be. I will announce that right at the end.
Tu aimes la géographie?
Je ne sais pas.
Tu aimes la géographie?
Oh, mais...
C'est moche. C'est un pic.
Non, c'est un cahier.
Bravo. Indiquez le caméra.
Bravo. C'était difficile, ça. Okay, I think it's about time we announce who is going to be the winner. I've had a quick look through the sheets as I've been going round and as I've taken them in, and it's actually going to be a tie because 2 of the boys and 2 of the girls have done almost exactly as well as each other. So, the 5p prize is going to have to be divided up. I don't believe in the depersonalised reward system, where you get something that goes on your report at the end and it says you've got 8 commendations. I don't think that means anything. And parents might like it, parents might think it's wonderful. But I reckon most kids would rather a pat on the head or 20p or whatever it might be, and something which comes from you personally, because what they have achieved is within your scope. Oh, well, bang goes another bonus. Okay, a huge prize. Now, don't spend it all at once, will you? Okay, off we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Yes, what's the word for that?
There's one little boy who, while I'm in the middle of working with whatever is going on, whatever unit we're doing, will suddenly say, "Sir, what's the French for a wallaby?"
No, you didn't. What's a plaque?
What's a plaque?
And then shield.
And blason.
Blason.
Blason. B-L-A-Z-O-N.
Au revoir, monsieur. Au revoir, monsieur.
Ian, do you remember me saying before, you've got a lot of power back there, right? And if you want to go slower than me, we'll all go slower, right? Because we all sort of listen to you, really, because of the sort of sound you make, because you're very low there, right? If you can, try and keep going at the speed we start at. If you can't, well, we'll fit in with you, that's all right. But it would be better if we could all start at the same speed. All right, mate? You're doing a good job there, though. 1, 2.
You've had a good look round, or you've seen quite a bit of the school this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you still a firm candidate for the post?
Definitely. Yeah.
There was a job advertised at a school in Knowsley, and I hummed and hawed about whether or not to apply for that, and thought it's in Halewood and that's a very bad area. I'm a coward. I bottled out of that.